In a world where it sometimes seems like everything needs to be part of a massive franchise, I love when a game can be a little more than just a simple, singular experience. There's no need to set up a deep mythology, build a complicated world, or tease mysteries that could be explored in sequels or spin-offs. Because everything that you need is in that one standalone adventure. That's how I feel about Discolored, a new first-person puzzle game that is just now hitting consoles after first debuting on PC and Apple Arcade back in 2019. This is a stylish adventure that sends the player on a quest to bring color back to a black and white world. Of course, it's more complicated than that, as you'll see when I review the refreshing sophomore effort by Godbey Games. This is a game about a small black and white diner out in the middle of nowhere. It's a scene right out of a 1950s movie, complete with the crackling of golden oldies playing on the radio. But hang on a minute, because this isn't really a game about a sleepy old diner. You see, it's actually about a private investigator or a scientist or something that uses an experimental visor to teleport into different realities. That diner isn't just in the middle of nowhere, it's literally on the edge of the world. Look, all you need to know is that the diner, the phone booth, and the whole surrounding area are filled with items that you can collect and puzzles to solve. What at first looks like nothing more than an empty restaurant quickly becomes a setting full of intrigue as we discover the upstairs bedroom, the mysteries of the attic, and even the bunker that's hidden deep underground. And hey, what's with that tower out front? Why are we even here? As it turns out, this diner at the edge of the world is the key to reintroducing a little color to the palette. A lot of the game revolves around the idea of finding blue, green, and red gems that can be used to change the environment around you. What complicates this is the realization that you may need to pick and choose which colors are activated at any given time, all of which is thoroughly exploited by some of the trickier puzzles. Now, in case you haven't noticed, Discolored is a first-person point-and-click adventure game. It looks a little different, but it plays by all the same rules, especially when it comes to combining items and searching for puzzle solutions. What I like is that the puzzles themselves are challenging, but never to the point of being obtuse or frustrating. The game doesn't throw too many items at you at once, and the area you're exploring tends to be pretty small, which are two things that really help to keep things focused. Discolored also benefits from having a surreal and almost dreamlike narrative where almost anything can happen. An old dusty diner in the middle of nowhere may not sound like the most interesting setting, but all that changes as you begin to peel back all of its many secret layers. There's just so much intrigue here, which is even more impressive by the fact that there's no writing or dialogue. I loved solving the puzzles, tinkering with the colors, and yes, even combining the items that I picked up. And then, just like that, it all ends. You see, the one thing that you need to know about Discolored is that it's short. It took me about an hour to beat the game, which included a few times where I really just paced back and forth trying to get unstuck. It wouldn't surprise me if I could go back right now and beat the game in like 15 or 20 minutes just on my second time through. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kinda curious to see what the speedrunning record is right now. Don't get me wrong, it offers a lot of puzzles and the ending is satisfying enough, but I have to admit that I was disappointed when I saw the credits roll. It felt like there was a lot more the developer could have done with not only this concept, but also the whole 1950s diner location. Yeah, this is a game that left me wanting more. And I hate to say it, but there are also some weird gameplay issues that really left a bad taste in my mouth. For example, the game has this issue where inverting the camera control also inverts the point-and-click cursor. That means that every time I wanted to move the cursor up, I actually had to hold the analog stick down. Yeah, this is not ideal, and I don't understand why both of those things are linked. And the thing is, that's true of the rest of the gameplay, which often feels floaty and just adequate enough to get the job done. But while the gameplay could have used a little tightening up, the real issue I have with Discolored is just the short length. I love the style, the surreal narrative, the weird setting, and all the stuff involving bringing color back to a black and white world, but it's too short to confidently recommend at full price. Pop quiz, hotshot. You're stranded in a 1950s diner at the edge of the world. What are you gonna do? If you're playing the new game Discolored, then you're using a bunch of different colors to solve puzzles and untangle the mysteries of this surreal setting. This is a mix of first-person exploration and point-and-click adventuring, taking us on an unpredictable quest to figure out what the hell is going on. Unfortunately, the game's short, 1-hour runtime makes it feel more like an appetizer than a main course. Discolored is certainly trippy and fun, but also too short and, yeah, too expensive. Hey, thanks for watching our review. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new reviews and features almost every day. Now, here's the question I have for you. What is the best game to never get a sequel? And look, I'm not talking about one of those games that got a reboot or was a spin-off or anything like that. I'm talking about one-and-done games, whether on purpose or not. Let me see your picks in the comments below. In other news, we'll be back tomorrow with a look at zombies and ghouls, followed on Friday by a bonus Game Over episode. If that sounds good to you, then I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.